Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Talk Off. It is Tuesday, April 18th, and we are back for another episode. How is everybody doing? Jay, Chris, how are we?
I'm doing all right. I have a little bit of an ear issue. That was my medical issue.
You have an ear issue?
Yeah, it's one of the stranger things that I've ever had happen to me in my life. It's what the current situation is right now is every time I chew, I hear this like whoosh sound in my ear, like it very faintly, and I don't know what it is. Like
A
I
whoosh.
don't know. I it's very like you can like barely hear it, but it's just loud enough to be noticeable.
I need more explanation than whoosh.
It's like a
Have you gotten your wisdom teeth out?
yeah, all four-time survivor.
That's all I had. I don't know.
It's really strange. And it's like I can feel it in my I think it's fluid in my ear.
Get the fucking turkey baster out and shove that shit in there.
No, dude, that would hurt so bad.
Dude, it works, I'm telling you.
So I'm going to I'm going to see Doc on Wednesday.
Going to the doc.
Yeah, I'm going to see Doc.
Oh, I fucking can't stand going to the doctor. It's such a
know, it's so
such a
scary.
thing. It's such a like oh, I gotta go to the doctor. Like
You know
go,
what's
like,
you
they
know what's
tell
the
you all the
worst?
shit that's wrong with you. And
There's
it's a
got to
sad
be
place.
a better way for we're Zach. Can you confirm this fact for me that we are in the year 2023? True or false?
True.
There has to be a better way for them to test for strep throat than to shove something down my throat.
I think there is. I got tested for strep throat like a couple months ago, and I'm
really?
pretty positive I didn't get anything shoved down my throat.
Every time I've been tested for Jake's face was like, "What? Get me that test."
I don't
'cause
think so.
No, because every time I've been tested for strep, I've had something shoved. Like I feel like I've like I come out of there like my eyes are watered. I look like I just like cried for 3 hours in that room.
No, yeah, me too. Whenever I'm getting tested for strep, the doctor pulls down his pants and then
Okay. Is that why you were laughing? Because
Yeah,
you
I
thought
hate
of
going
that?
to the doctor because every time I
Set
just
you up.
end up gagging.
Oh my god. Okay, that was too much. That was too much. That was too much. You know, I was listening. I don't remember what podcast I was listening to the other day, but I can't remember. But they were talking about how they wish that there was a doctor for everything, just one doctor that knew everything. Dentist, chiropractor, regular doctor, surgeon, all in one.
Ooh,
And I
speaking
could
of
just go see
chiropractor.
that doctor one time for like a full day and just knock everything out in one day.
He'd be a very rich man.
Yeah, but I think like I wish that was a thing.
I wish
I
that
think
would
I
be
would
cool.
actually. I think I would actually
that'd be
go to the
pretty cool.
doctor then.
It,
I'd just go.
It would be pretty cool. It would definitely save a lot of time, just to like kill like 5 birds with one stone. But
But I guess we would probably have way less doctors then. It wouldn't make
we
any
would
sense.
we would have a lot less doctors. I'm sorry, that threw me off. Ow! Ow! Oh, I just ran my foot over with my chair. Oh. I just
can't
ran my
stand-
foot over. I just ran my foot over with my rolling
Why'd you have to
chair.
be so dramatic? It probably wasn't that bad.
No,
Relax.
I ran just my toenail over
No,
with the
relax.
rolly part of my chair. Oh, that hurt.
Relax. It's
see,
okay.
see, if there was one doc, I could get the ear and the toe fixed in one shot.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. One doctor for everything. It just makes
Zach,
sense.
I saw a little news pre-show that I wanted to start off with today. I don't know if you saw this. It was kind of recent in the news. So actually 2 things that came out today in relation to kind of shitty ball clubs. So the Pirates, so the stadium ushers, ticket takers, and ticket sellers at PNC Park are going on strike, and they're picketing outside the Pirates' next home game. So essentially, like, I don't know if the Pirates are going to be able to play a home game the next time they're in Pittsburgh.
How are they going to get beer?
Well, how are they going to get anyone in the stadium?
Well, forget it. Who cares about that? It's about the beer.
Well, people who scan the tickets are going on strike. So forget the
So
beer.
how-
You're not even getting into the stadium.
Yeah. Why are they going on strike? What's wrong? What's wrong with them?
I think they hate ownership.
For what? They're not getting paid enough?
I
Are they
I gotta-
racist?
No, I don't know. I haven't, to be honest. I just saw the tweet about it. I didn't really dig into it, which I probably should have dug a little bit.
I
further
didn't.
into
I
it.
didn't even see this.
Yeah, it came out about an hour and a half ago. Also, on the flip side, Oakland A's fans are having a reverse boycott where they're packing the Coliseum
Good.
to show the team that the fans aren't the problem. It's ownership.
I was watching.
That's way cooler.
Did the Mets just play the A's? No. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was watching the Mets
yeah.
game the other day, and someone was holding a sign. It was like "Don't blame us," like a huge sign that just said like "Don't blame us," and I thought it was hilarious because good, fill the fucking Coliseum. I think it would be hilarious if this season the Coliseum was just filled to capacity. Maybe not capacity, but way more than it usually is. I highly doubt it's going to happen, but it would be so cool if they were just like, fuck ownership. It's not our fault.
I don't know how far out in advance you'd have to plan a pack the Coliseum night because I have to imagine it's going to take a little while for people to. June 13th against the Rays. Okay, so it's a few months out. 2 months to be exact.
That's 2 months.
So that makes sense. The A's fan base doesn't seem like necessarily one you can rally overnight to a home game.
It would be pretty difficult to get everybody to pack the stadium in one night.
Yeah, especially. Also, can we talk about the A's in general? Like, obviously they need a new stadium, but how do they not have a railing in their dugouts yet?
Oh, excuse me.
Also, how is that allowed by Major League Baseball? I thought that was something that they
I don't know how that's
made
not allowed.
mandatory.
I don't know how that's allowed. I also don't know how you can have a bullpen on the side of the field like Tampa does. Fucking put a fence around it or some shit. It's so stupid that it's on the side of the field. Like, it's so annoying. But like the
I
Coliseum's
think
the
San
same
Francisco
shit.
has that too.
I hate it. It's so dumb and it's so
does
dangerous
Oakland.
for no reason.
It's so dangerous.
But I don't know how they get away with not having a rail. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you've seen enough highlights of catchers or first basemen diving into dugouts. So I'm just surprised that they haven't.
Those are great highlights, though.
Those are cool highlights, but like at the end of the day, do you want Tristan Casas running into a dugout and ending a season?
Right now,
Oakland?
yes.
Fair. He might
Yes.
actually play better running
He
into a dugout and coming out.
Couldn't hit a beach ball right now.
That would be the revenge tour after going to the dugout, slipping with some spikes on some hard Oakland concrete, popping up.
I'm afraid
Maybe
of Oakland.
maybe he'll then hit over his weight.
He probably never will. Makes me sad.
So Zach, today let's start off by recapping some games for the weekend. Should we start with the Red Sox game today? Because I think today's Red Sox game might be my favorite overall game that happens all across the season of Major League Baseball. Patriots Day in Boston. This is probably the coolest game, and it's actually one of two games that are played before noon. Can you guess the other one? There's only two games played before noon throughout a baseball season. This is one of them. There's one more that's on a national holiday, and when you hear it, you're going to be like, "This makes sense."
I have no idea. 4th of July?
Yeah, it's 4th of July. You know what team it is?
The Yankees?
No. Nationals.
Oh, yeah. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
the Nationals play at 11 on 4th of July in D.C.
I guess that makes sense. I like this day it's a huge day for Boston. It's obviously like very emotional day for Boston, but it's really cool that they play early and like they remember everybody. Obviously Sunday was way better because it was nice weather and they actually won. Today,
Yeah, it was shit weather.
Shit weather. It fucking poured, rain delays. The umpires were being assholes, making the Angels take the field while it was literally downpouring, and there was no more dirt. It was all mud, and it was all puddle. Shohei Ohtani was throwing warm-up pitches in a giant puddle,
Yeah, that
and they
video is
still
pretty
had him out
crazy.
there.
That video is pretty crazy. There's like a clear puddle in his landing spot on the mound, and he's just walking around the mound, just having no idea what to do.
The worst part about it is now I feel like he doesn't like Boston. He has made comments that he liked Boston, he liked hitting here, but this probably just ruined his time here, and now we're not going to sign him, and I'm upset. We're out of the running already, and it's definitely – this ruined his experience with the East Coast 100%. He's staying on the West Coast, no question. He's going to be a Dodger next year. Life is terrible.
Yeah, so I'm not going to take that approach to analyzing this, but I think one thing that the game could have, or I shouldn't say the game, the one thing that I guess it's the home team that decides whether to take the field or not right before the game. It's home team and umpires.
Yeah, but I mean, they had an hour delay before the game.
Right, but honestly, this is a game they probably should have pushed back to 1 or 2 o'clock, and played through. Because it didn't seem like anyone was able to get comfortable out of the gate. You had the weather delay, and then you had the Angels with the pitch comm issue, and that was a 10-minute delay. And then obviously we had almost a 2-hour delay with the second rain delay of the game. So it was an interesting game. Some fans out in center field looked like they were having some fun though, getting shirtless, drinking some beer, and
That was
taking
so
full
rowdy.
advantage of the delay. So that looked rowdy as hell.
That was so rowdy. I wish I was there.
And the Sox almost made a little comeback.
Almost made a little comeback, but I'm okay with dropping that game. We take 3 out of 4 from the Angels in Fenway. That's something that we needed after coming off a very shitty series. So we'll see what happens. If history repeats itself, we're gonna get swept this series. So play the Twins, and obviously the Twins are insanely hot, probably the hottest team in baseball. Just proving everyone wrong. I just think it's crazy what the Twins are doing, especially everything they went through in the offseason, ending up with Carlos Correa after doing the whole song and dance with him going to, New York and San Francisco, and he ends up back in Minnesota for less money than he probably would have if he just signed right away. And I think the Twins are just benefiting. They also extended Pablo Lopez within the last couple of days, 4 years, $73 million. Maybe a little too much money. I think it's a little too much money, but it's not the point. They locked up Pablo Lopez. They need an ace pitcher to lock up, someone who's going to eat innings, and this guy's out to an insane start, and the Twins are out to an insane start. Sonny Gray finally figured out how to pitch a baseball again after, 4 or 5 years. Finally figured it out again.
A long stretch of not doing well.
Lopez is looking great. The hitting's looking great. A lot of young guys stepping up, and the Twins are looking really good. Probably one of the hottest teams in baseball besides maybe the Brewers or the Rays, obviously.
When I first saw the Pablo Lopez deal for 4 years, $73.5 million, I immediately was like, holy shit, this is a really bad overpay. But at the end of the day, I don't really think it is after thinking about it for a little while, because one, it's going to take a guy a little bit of a premium to stay in Minnesota for certain parts of the year. So I don't blame them for having to throw a little bit more cash at him to keep him on the roster. But also, like you said, the guy's got a sub-2 ERA to start the season. He's pitching well. He's pitching to what we think is a potential for Pablo Lopez. And you got to remember, Minnesota gave up the reigning American League batting champion in Luis Arias for a guy like this. So obviously Minnesota is pretty high on Pablo Lopez. So it makes sense that they would go out there and kind of throw the kitchen sink at him to make sure he stays a Minnesota Twin.
Yeah, it makes sense for the Twins. It's a great deal on both sides. I think the Twins are really going to benefit from this, having a little bit of pitching depth for the next 4 years, and we'll see how it goes for them. Right now, it looks like they're the team to beat in the AL Central, with the Guardians not playing as you put on sunglasses inside like a weirdo. The Guardians aren't playing as well as the Twins right now. The Twins came out hot, and if they can take that AL Central, they could be double sunglasses. Okay. Interesting. If you go triple, I'm going to lose my mind. Holy shit. Why do you have so many sunglasses?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I just opened my desk drawer because I wanted to find something to dick around with in my hands while I was talking, but I ended up pulling out 3 different pairs of sunglasses.
I feel like I need a fidget spinner while I podcast.
I know. I just need something to kind of just toy with.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a great start to the season for Minnesota. What did you think about those Carlos Correa comments where he was kind of saying that Yankees fans' boos are like fueling up gas in his Ferrari?
I mean, I think he's kind of right. The Yankees fans are only booing Carlos Correa because he's not their shortstop, and they want him to be. I know they do. Every Yankee fan wanted Carlos Correa in this offseason.
Well, everyone thought they were going to get him this offseason.
Yeah, and they didn't, and they're all fucking butthurt about it. That's why they boo him. And because he was an Astro, but that's why they boo him. And because he fucking tears them apart.
Yeah,
and he did again in this past series.
Before we keep trashing on Yankee fans, let's add two notes. One, Garrett Cole. I think this might be the first complete game we've had all season.
Sandy had one, his second start.
Okay. Complete game, 2-hitter, 1 walk, and 10 Ks for Cole. In my opinion, Cole's probably the best pitcher in the game right now, and I don't think you can argue that.
100%.
A hot start to the year. He's got a sub-1 ERA. So Garrett Cole's living up to that $300 million price tag right now. He's no longer. You can no longer use the chirp of Garrett Cole $300 million for a 3 ERA.
100%. And the Yankees I wanted to talk about the Yankees next because the Yankees are in an interesting spot because Garrett Cole is pitching like he is paid to pitch,
like
and he's pitching like the best pitcher in baseball. Like he's going to run away with the AL Cy Young, and he's going to strap the Yankees on his back, which is what we have been talking about that he's going to have to do for the Yankees. Because, again, they're fighting more injuries. Stanton now is on the IL 4 to 8 weeks. That's going to be another hit in these Yankees lineup, and they're going to have young guys stepping up again. Peraza and Cabrera are going to get more starts, and those are guys who are pretty hit and miss. They were last year, and they kind of are this year when they're back up. So losing Stan in that lineup is going to be huge, but having Garrett Cole at the top of this rotation, just tossing gems every 5 days, is going to keep the Yankees afloat for long enough for their guys to get back, and then they're going to hit the stride. I also think they'll probably go get an arm. There's probably no question that they're going to go get an arm at this deadline.
Yeah, after that early season debacle of a trade that ended with I don't even know what the guy's name was. Who did they get?
Colton
Brewer
or whatever.
Yeah.
So bad.
The moron who just gave up 9 runs in the first inning to the Twins. So the Yankees are definitely going to be in the market for an arm within the next 2 to 3 months. Honestly, Zach Gallen could be a guy that they call too. I think Zach Gallen's going to be the hottest arm on the market come July. And I'm really high on him for that.
I still don't understand. He's going to be a Diamondback. I don't think they will deal him ever.
I think otherwise. I think Zach. Here's why I think. I think if there's teams like the Yankees or teams like the Mets who they seriously need an arm, and the Mets call you with Vientos or Mauricio, that's going to be pretty hard to turn down for a guy who's nearing 30, and your window is probably not going to be in his prime years.
See, but I think that the Diamondbacks think that their window will be in his prime years.
It's definitely there's you could easily make the argument both ways, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think that they really like the solid core of young guys that they have in their system right now and about to come up, that they're not going to move off of Zach Gallen, because with him and Merrill Kelly at the top of their rotation, they're always going to have a solid 1-2 punch.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I think Gallen will be someone who's going to be talked a lot about at the trade deadline, whether that he is actually moved or not. But it'll be interesting. Like you said, the Yankees are probably going to need an arm. The Mets could probably need an arm. Hell, the Atlanta Braves could even use an arm. I mean, they usually have guys go down with injuries halfway throughout the season, especially in the pitching staff. And actually, speaking of pitching staff, Max Fried is coming back. He's being activated off the IL today. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. It's good. It's good for the Braves. They absolutely need it. They're a team who honestly always has problems in the pitching staff, and their pitching staff does have a problem with staying healthy. But the good thing about the Braves is that they are so deep, especially in the pitching staff, that they have so many guys that can step up and like we always talk about fucking Mike Soroka just because the 1 year that he had that was incredible, and like I always bring him up when we talk about this Braves rotation because he's like their sixth starter like when they need him, but he had that
Right.
1 year that was just incredible where he had like a sub-3.
Right. Yeah.
So
Speaking
like
of
this team is so
speaking
deep,
yeah,
so deep, you know.
I hear you. Speaking of starters who are aces of their team, I guess Manoah, you could make the argument, is the ace of the Blue Jays. But I want to talk about Sandy and Manoah, two guys who are off to a rough start. Alcantara, uh, he's currently boasting a 5.8 ERA, which is not very Alcantara like. Then you go over to Toronto in the sixth for Manoah. Over 4 games this year, 6.9 ERA. Hey now, baseball is hard, man. And like Manoah, I think I remember we were talking about this a week or two ago, Zach, when I was saying that I had serious concerns that Scherzer was not handling the pitch clock well. Manoah is a guy who looks really uncomfortable with the pitch clock.
Yeah, Manoah is a guy who, honestly, if you read anything on Twitter, if you read anything on Twitter in the offseason about people in the major leagues who were due for major regression this year, Alek Manoah was number one on almost everyone's list. Everyone said that last year was the fluke year, and he just pitched very well, and his stuff just wasn't looking as good in the offseason. It didn't look very good in spring training, and it's not looking good to start this year. He does not look like the Alek Manoah of last year. He doesn't look comfortable up there, and if you look at all of his pitches individually, every single pitch is a mile per hour or 2 down from last year. His spin rates are down. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong for Alek Manoah, and that is terrible for the Blue Jays because they need him because Barrios sucks, and if Manoah's going to suck, then Gausman is really all they have because Yusei Kikuchi is
and
not.
Bassett is off to a horrific start.
Exactly. So that pitching staff in Toronto is going to get really thin if Manoah can't figure it out. He also looks really fat.
Yeah, that was some heat that Anthony Recker caught earlier in the year. I don't know if you heard that about that preseason.
I think so.
Yeah, Anthony Recker pretty much was like, "Get in the gym, bro," and everyone on Twitter ate him alive.
He should. I mean, he looks fat as fuck. I mean, I guess he did last year too, but he probably just looks fatter because he's playing worse.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But Alcantara, I don't know what's going on with Alcantara.
Yeah, him too. I don't know what's going on with him. He had that one great. His second start was great, and I thought that was going to be like, okay, he's hitting his stride. The first start was just first start jitters. He got through the second start, complete game, had like a 4-hitter, no earned. And like
the Philly start was the only real one that was, to me, was a disaster. The Philly start was a mess.
Yeah, but
I
think
between
doesn't
the Philly start and I think he pitched one more time against. I'm drawing a blank exactly on who they played, but he was close to 13 earned in 10 innings, which is a nightmare for a guy like Alcantara, especially if you're a Marlins fan, kind of banking like the cornerstone of your franchise on a guy like this.
Especially after trading Lopez in the offseason.
Yeah.
Like you gave up pitching because they were like, yep, we're good with pitching, which they really are. Like he's going to figure it out. It's still early in the season, but they felt like they were so comfortable in the pitching that they were comfortable enough to trade Lopez for a bat. And obviously it's the right move because Arias is hitting like 500 still. But if Sandy is not going to be Sandy, now that trade looks a lot different because you lost so much pitching and Sandy's not that guy. Now you got Jesus Luzardo, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, this is looking like a kind of an interesting trade now from the Marlins perspective. Like, yeah, you have a guy in Luis Arias who is hitting the cover off the baseball right now, but at what cost? Like you essentially you lost a massive part of your pitching depth for a guy who essentially, yeah, he's producing offense for you, but for For what? For Luzardo to go out there and give up 5 earned, or for Alcantara to give up 13 earned in his last 10 innings? There's no true anchor right now on that Marlins rotation, and it shows in their record.
Yeah, I mean, the Marlins, let's just say it how they fucking suck.
Right,
They
they
suck.
suck, but they don't suck like in the other years. The past years, the Marlins have been just a pushover, and they shouldn't really be viewed as a pushover anymore.
I think they have pitching that the pitching that they have, if they are at their best, this team shouldn't be a pushover just because their pitching will hold them down. The lineup is just like, who cares? And Luis Ariz, like you would say, let's just pitch around let's just pitch around on Ariz, just like the Nationals last year. You could just pitch around Soto before he got traded to the Padres. They just pitched around Soto. That's why he walked so much, because there was nobody else in the lineup that they thought could beat them. But you don't have to pitch around Luis Ariz because he ain't going to go up there and hit a homer. He's just going to keep knocking singles and be okay with it. So they don't really pitch around him. So he's going to keep getting hits, and everyone else is going to keep fucking sucking. And that's what sucks. If you're a Marlins fan, I feel really bad for you. But Joey Wendell is terrible. Jazz Chisholm, the move to center is not working, and it's reflecting in his batting. Sandy is not it right now. The only person who's hitting for them is Luis Ariz. Like that's it. And the only person pitching is Luzardo, and he's not really off to that great a start. So they got a lot of problems.
Yeah, and a lot of time to figure it out too for Alcantara, because that Cy Young season was not a fluke last year, but man, this is quite the hangover from a guy like Alcantara. I kind of want to talk about the Pirates for a second, Zach. I know we talked about them to start, about how everyone, probably the players, fucking hate ownership. But McCutchen's off to a cool start, and that's good for baseball, in my opinion.
I told you when he signed, it feels right with Andrew McCutchen on the Pirates. It feels like that's how the league is supposed to be. He's supposed to be on the Pirates.
So 14 games this season, 310 batting average, 2 homers, 11 walks, 3 steals, 970 OPS.
I wish he grew massive dreads back.
This is the McCutchen. I know. That would
so
be true.
Sick.
That would
That'd
be true
so
MVP McCutchen time.
It would make me feel like a kid again. What was that, 2013?
2013, yeah. That
Maybe
was when
2014, something like that.
That was when like Starling Marte was coming up on that team. They made the Pirates made like sneaky wild card games back in the day. Like
they were sneaky good.
Nah, they were sneaky good. Just good enough to like get into the wild card, but like never really passed.
Yeah,
you want to know the most random? Like, you know how you're watching 2013 baseball is when you watch the highlights and it's Pirates Reds in the wild card round.
Mm.
That's weird.
That is weird. It's not gonna. Maybe soon. 5 more years. Maybe 10.
Maybe more.
The Reds got some amazing prospects coming up.
I think the Reds are an interesting team because they have the pieces. Like, I like Jonathan India a lot. I think Hunter Green has the potential to be a really good major league starter.
Dude, their pitching staff is so young with Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, and then they have Graham Ashcraft now, who has just come out and become amazing. And
they have some really good pieces.
It's incredible. They have Hunter Green, who's just going to go up there and just blow 103 miles an hour right by you.
Right.
He's just so talented. And then they have Lodolo and Ashcraft that are just such great pitchers. They command the strike zone very well. They hit their spots. They get weak contact. That pair is so good.
Yeah, it's tough to judge Green because everyone expects a lot out of him, but he's only 23 years old. Like, he's not going to go out there and pitch to a reasonable ERA at 23 years old while he's still trying to figure out the league. I mean, this guy he hasn't spent much time in professional baseball in general. I think under 5 years. I know he came right out of high school, but he had Tommy John not too soon after leaving high school.
Yep. He's still young, and that's the best part about this Reds team is that they're so young. There's so much room for development. That's what I'm saying. 5 years, the Reds are going to be, I think in like 3 years we're gonna see the Reds how we see like the Diamondbacks this year,
Mm-hmm.
and then in like 5 to 7 years the Reds are gonna be like a playoff team. I really think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Speaking of a team that's absolutely terrible, the Detroit Tigers. You see, Miguel Cabrera hit the weakest walk-off single that you've ever seen in your life.
Yep. Like I said it last podcast. He should have retired. It's not fun to watch.
He's like kind of past the point of where it's like every player like of his like stature gets a really cool send off, but like at this rate, it just feels like he shouldn't be playing anymore. That like teams are probably not going to give him like the David Ortiz, Derek Jeter kind of.
It's just
goodbye.
like last year. It's the same. I feel the same way about Wainwright. I feel like he should have went last year because Yachty went, Pujols went, Wainwright should have went. Yachty was.
I think Wainwright should have played World Baseball. I think he should have like ended everything at the World Baseball Classic. I think that would have been cool.
Agreed. If he wanted to play the World Baseball Classic, good for him. But like, he did not need to come back this season. He should have retired with Yachty and with Pujols. And I just put Miguel Cabrera with them because he was part of that era of baseball. And he's just like, he's too old. He's too fat. He can't move. He can barely hit. And it's sad to watch.
Oh, we have breaking news. Jake, do we have like some sound effect?
Drum roll.
Breaking
Jake.
news.
Just guess which one it is. You can do it. Yes.
Yeah. Tatis is at Petco Park and is going to remain with the team for the remainder of his 3-game suspension.
I just saw that actually. I did just
So
see that too.
Tatis, after fucking up some minor leaguers the last like week and a half. Last night he had 3 home runs, and I don't know if you saw those videos of him playing in the minor league games. But he just did not wear the team's helmet.
I fucking hate him so much.
He decided to wear the his major league helmet down in the minor leagues. He was like, I'm playing for whatever team, and what's their AAA affiliate?
I have no idea, honestly.
Let's look it up. The El Paso
Chihuahuas.
Yeah. So he did not
He's not a
wear their
Chihuahua.
uniform. He just decided to wear his Padres gear.
I hate him so much.
Pants, helmet, pretty much everything besides the jersey, which you have to wear the jersey.
He's such a loser. I'm like, that actually like makes me so mad. He's such a fucking loser.
So I know we want to get into NBA talk quick because we're going to do a playoff picks and preview. I do want really quick, Zach, before we get into that, I want to talk about this past weekend series with the Mets. Escobar hitting like absolute dog shit. I think he's hitting under. I think he's hitting under 115. It's a tough start because I actually really like Escobar. I think he's like a really good guy. But he's not producing. So it is.
So what time
Brett
is it?
Beatty. It is fucking Beatty time. It's Master Beatty time, baby.
Woo!
I'm gonna fucking Master Beatty all day today.
Okay, stop.
Come on, man.
You always do it like one more.
Why?
Like,
But it's funny. It's a play on words.
I know, but it was funny like when you did the one. But
Okay.
the second one just didn't need to happen.
So the Mets played some pretty good baseball in Oakland Friday and Saturday night. They looked like a bunch of morons on Sunday. We basically escaped with we really escaped with a win on Sunday. But Pete Alonso hitting the shit out of the baseball, 8 home runs, major league leading, and I'll tell you one thing. My MVP future, I'm really happy with that bet right now. Because I think Pete Alonso could win MVP. He just has to keep playing well. You know he can win MVP too. Like what do you don't think he can win MVP?
I think
Why?
so many people have to have so much worse season for him to win MVP.
You know the guy can hit 50 home runs though.
I think he could hit 50 home runs and 100 and have 120 RBIs and still not win MVP.
Wow. Really?
I think someone can have worse number stats than him, and they will win over him.
So his rookie year, played 161 games, 53 homers, 120 RBIs, and he finished 7th in MVP voting. Let's see. Do you know who won the MVP in 2019, Zach?
In the National League in 2019.
Cody Bellinger.
Well, that was 2018, I thought.
No, 2019. So 2018 was Yelich.
Oh.
So Cody Bellinger had an 8.6 WAR that year. I think a lot of that was defensive. I mean, he did have 47 homers and 115 RBIs and hit 305. But I don't think it's an unreasonable thing, especially for Pete, who has improved massively defensively. I think he has a decent shot at the MVP this year if he can get close to that 50 number. I think he doesn't win the MVP if he doesn't come close to that 50 number, though. I will agree with you with that. Like,
I think he's got to.
If he wants any shot in the running, he's going to have to come close to 50.
I think he has to hit at least 50.
Which we know he can do. He's done it before.
He can absolutely do it, but I just think like he's gonna have to hit 50. He's gonna have to have 120 RBIs,
and the Mets will probably have to win the division.
The Mets will probably have to win the division, and he'll have to hit at least 290.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that like it's a perfect bet, but if a lot of things fall in the spot where they're supposed to, it could be an interesting bet down the line. Interesting series for the Mets coming up. We have an interesting matchup on. I gotta stop saying fucking interesting. I've said it like 5 times in the last minute.
I've noticed that we both say it like a lot.
Scherzer and Syndergaard Wednesday night.
That's interesting.
That's really fucking interesting, especially for Noah, who he kind of sucks this year, honestly.
Okay, I don't think he sucks, but like
I don't think
they're not really expecting him to. He doesn't have to be good.
No, but I mean, a year ago the guy wanted damn close to $25 million a year.
Oh, I
he's
understand.
pitching to a 5.6 ERA, 0-2, 3 games. He's not really making it past like the 4th or 5th inning in games. So,
do you ever realize how much harder you are on people who used to play for the Mets?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hard on guys who play for the Mets right now. I mean.
No, I'm just saying, like if Noah Syndergaard started his career with the fucking Blue Jays and had the same career that he had on the Mets, but on the Blue Jays, you'd be talking like, yeah, it's Noah Syndergaard, whatever, who cares? He's fine.
Well, I mean, he was legitimately like a very good pitcher.
No, I know he was legitimately a very good pitcher. I'm just saying you hold him to a higher standard because he was a Met.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the same could be made for like any team of any fan of any team.
Okay, you can call me out next time I do it.
I'm trying to think of a time you've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know you have done it in the past. I'm just trying to think.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, so should we get into some NBA talk?
Let's do it.
Gentlemen,
Lemon, we have our official NBA insider, also known as the only person that me and Chris know that actually watches NBA day to day.
This is true. This is actually for Lemon to join us today. This is our first on program.
Guest. Our first on-program guest, yes.
Yeah.
Our first call-in guest was JMO, and he lost his privileges for that.
And our first – so it's crazy. Our first actual guest wasn't even to talk about sports. It was to ask about a naked guy.
It was.
I remember that episode. That was a good episode.
It was a very good episode.
All right, so NBA playoff time. We just got through the first weekend of NBA playoffs. I know like the bare minimum about the NBA. It's kind of where this time of year I go into like give a shit mode about playoffs because like playoff basketball is a lot of fun outside of the first round, which tends to be dull and shitty. But there's a lot of good first round matchups this year.
Yeah, definitely. And first, let me start off by saying thank you, fellas, for having me on. I'm honored to be your first official guest.
Oh yeah, well
And
this
producer,
this is
It's our pleasure.
you will be you are now talk off's NBA guy. So if we have an NBA question or we need gambling advice, we're coming to you.
well, you got my number, so feel free to call. And producer Jake, just wanted to shout out you. You've done some amazing things with the podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But yeah, let's get into the first round. So currently, the Heat leading the Bucks 1-0. That was honestly kind of a big surprise, but not that big of a surprise when Giannis goes down middle of the game with a back injury.
Yeah, so what's the
I
deal with that? Is Giannis like
Is he gonna play?
is he gonna play?
Yeah,
He's still gonna play. Okay,
Like there's
so they
no
win.
way he
So-
doesn't play. But and also like are the Heat like legit and I'm gonna ask like really dumb NBA questions. So like are the Heat like good still? Because I know that they were good when they had Butler going, but Hero's out now. So does that throw a
Yeah.
wrench in the whole plan?
yeah. I mean, Hero was their third best scorer, just under Jimmy and Bam. But him with a broken hand, he's out for the rest of the playoffs, so he's done.
Oh.
Jimmy is always going to be a competitor, so he's always going to give them a shot. But I saw a Shams report about 10 minutes ago that Giannis should be back for game 2, if not game 2, definitely game 3. So
Yeah,
he's
so the
fine.
Bucks are winning.
Yeah, so
yeah,
the Bucks are
gonna
gonna win
take
that
the
series.
series. The Heat might be able to steal one more game in this, but Bucks in 5 or 6 games for sure.
Yeah. Can I just say this is why I hate the NBA playoffs, and for one reason, I always feel actually for a couple reasons, but I always feel like one conference is way better than the other one.
Yeah.
Like one side of
Yeah.
one side is always way better. Like the West is like I feel like any team I could see any team from the West making the finals. The East, I think I see 2.
yeah.
It's either the Bucks or the Celtics, and there's no question. And that's why I hate the NBA Finals. I also hate it because you get the East matchups like they are this year, like Bucks Heat. Like I don't even think the Heat surprised me by winning the first game. I don't think they stand a lick of a chance to beat the Bucks. And then like Knicks Cavs, that's going to be a great series just because Knicks Cavs, but they're going to get wiped by the Bucks next round. So who gives a shit?
I mean
Yeah.
The Nets don't deserve to be there. And then the Celtics are going to eat Trey Young's butt. So, like, it's
They're
just
gonna
stupid.
pick his hair out thread by thread, dude.
The guy
that
can
man's
only win
bald.
playoff games against the Knicks or play-in games. So, like, the
Yeah.
Celtics, like, that's just stupid. The West is the way more interesting side of the playoffs. Like, I think any one of those teams could beat any one of those teams in any series. And I think I could say that even for, like, the Pelicans and the Thunder, who didn't even make it in through the play-in.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think the West is the more interesting side because the best teams aren't over there. I wouldn't be surprised if if the Nuggets made it to the finals. Wouldn't be surprised, but I also wouldn't be that surprised if like the Suns made it, or honestly, like everyone's giving the Lakers a chance. I don't think the Lakers have a true chance, but if AD and Braun play like everyone knows they can play, the Lakers might even end up in the Western Conference Finals, if not in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And if-
like, if you think if the Lakers make it out of the first round, which it kind of looks like they will at this rate, because I know that's a questions with AD's health now, but it looks like he's fine, and it was a really convincing win over the Grizzlies. If they make it out of the first round, like, do you think it's not a crazy thing to say, like they're almost a damn near lock to go to the Western Conference Finals? Because it feels like LeBron's always at least making a conference final.
Yeah, I don't think that's a crazy thing to say at all. The Lakers, like, especially with adding D'Lo, I think D'Lo is such a key piece for them. And then Rui Hashimura, or however you say his name, is also playing really well for them right now. I think the Lakers can make a run, especially because AD is playing the way he used to play back when he was on the freaking Pelicans, like years ago. Like if AD can not get injured, which he probably will at some point during the playoffs, if he cannot get injured, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, so Correct me if I'm wrong.
All Yankees and Cowboys fans would be so fucking happy that the Lakers make it to the finals this year.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but after this round, don't they it doesn't like one doesn't play the winner of four, like 1-8 winner doesn't play 4-5 winner, right? Like if one wins and 7 wins, doesn't one play 7? Like don't they reseed or whatever?
Yeah.
Do they? Is that new
Yeah.
or has that always been a thing?
No, I think that's
Is it relatively new? Oh, really?
Huh.
But yeah, like so, like we could see some weird, like if the Nuggets win their matchup and the Lakers end up taking down the Grizzlies, because is Ja playing or is he hurt or is he done?
No, Ja's playing.
Oh, I thought he got hurt or some shit.
I think he did, but I don't remember. I didn't actually end up watching that game, but I don't think it's serious at all. I think he'll at least come back for game 2.
All right, but like even forget it. Like, even if the Lakers win that, then they have to play the number 1 seed Nuggets. They don't get to go play the winner of Golden State Sacramento. If that's Sacramento,
no, they
then
actually do. Sorry, I understood you wrong earlier. So if the Lakers beat the Grizzlies, they'll play the Kings or the Warriors.
So they don't reseed.
No, sorry, I understood you wrong.
I could have sworn they did.
Do you think Kings Warriors is going to be like a good seat? Like I loved that first game. That game was awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking ruled. And like having Sacramento have a good team, like that stadium is so cool. I want to go to that arena as soon as possible. What do the Kings like? Do you think the Kings can win the series, or do you think like the Warriors are just kind of like you think if this goes 6 or 7, like the Warriors are automatically going to win the series?
No, I don't think they automatically win. I think this series is going to go 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I mean, with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, almost anything, if they get hot, like the Kings might be screwed. But the Kings also, De'Aaron Fox has been playing some insanely well basketball in the last few months. Malik Monk was a great addition to the team for them. Him and De'Aaron Fox played fall at Kentucky together. I mean, those two really play well together. And then, I mean, the rest of the team, like Sabonis, they just got other guys that are just grinding it out almost to win these games. And it was a great game the other night, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings take the series in 6, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it went 7. I don't see the Warriors winning it, but with Steph and Clay and Draymond and the whole Warriors team, I also hate Draymond. Side note.
Yeah, I don't like Draymond at all.
Very good. We all
hate Draymond. Anything's possible with these Warriors.
Speaking
teams.
of that, what was that bullshit that happened towards the end of the Kings game where Draymond went down? And I don't know the guy in the Kings because I don't know much about like the NBA. Yo, that sucked when he was just laying on top of him and he couldn't get back on D. What was that all about?
That's a classic Draymond move. Draymond knows how to play the game well, and he knows these little
Stripe swallow his whistle on that one. There's no call.
It was like Sabonis was kind of holding Draymond, but Draymond was also locking Sabonis' arm in so that he couldn't move, and then he kind of fell back on him.
Okay,
those are kind of the calls that the NBA refs have to let go.
Yeah, I like that. Now that Lemon added more context, I've now officially changed my opinion that let the boys play. Good no call.
Yeah,
I like
sure.
it. Sixers. What do we think about the Sixers? Like, is James Harden skinny, fat? Is he good? Is he going to strip clubs? Is Joel Embiid legit?
Well, Joel Embiid is probably going to win the MVP. I'm a Giannis hater. Everyone knows that. I mean, Giannis is great, but I don't think he's the most valuable player in the league. I think Joel Embiid is, and I think James Harden is the perfect complementary player to him. James Harden knows how to find people, especially like Joel, and then he can also shoot the shit out of the ball. Like he can give you 30 on any given night. So right. I think the 76ers are going to sweep the Nets. I think the Nets just don't have enough pieces to get it done. I think Mikal Bridges is going to play his ass off, and he'll probably average 25 in this series, but it's just not going to be enough to get it done.
How are the Nets even there?
I think a lot of the heavy lifting was done by Kyrie and KD, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so Kyrie, KD, I think when they left, the Nets were already in position to be in the playoffs. And then the back half of the East, no one kind of moved at the end of the season. So, like 3/4 of the way or whatever, when the trade deadline hit, the playoffs on the East were almost set, pretty much, especially in that bottom half.
Makes sense. So
Gotcha.
I actually have a very important question.
I have an important answer.
Do the Knicks have a chance?
That series is going to go 7 games. It has to.
Do the Knicks have a chance?
They have a chance
I
to
love
beat the
those
Cavs,
Knicks.
but not go any further.
You don't think they have they don't have a slight chance over the Bucks, like not even like a little bit.
I mean, Julius Randle will have to guard Giannis the entire night, and he will have to put all of his attention on defense, and he will not be able to produce on offense if he does that.
That's true.
I think
What if Giannis is scared of the Garden?
he could be. The Garden's an intimidating place.
I just want the Knicks to win it all so I can go to the parade because that would be so fun.
That would be very cool, but
Okay.
I don't know if they have what it takes. I mean, Josh Hart, great addition. Fantastic addition by the Knicks.
I like
That
Jalen
guy's-
Brunson on that team.
Jalen Brunson, freaking beast on the
Yeah, he's a
Knicks.
dog.
I mean,
Yeah, see, like I hate them. I
Those
used to
two-
be a Knicks fan, but now they're just Villanova, so I hate them.
those two and
Facts,
Julius
yeah.
Randle, like those are the three that if they're gonna win this series, those three need to play lights out almost every single game because Donovan Mitchell is coming for them pretty much. Like,
That's true. He's definitely going to go off in the Garden too.
oh yeah.
Lemon, what do we think about the Celtics? We know you are the Celtics guy. You are Connecticut's very own Celtics fan. What do we think? Do we think this is the year? Like I know this is Tatum is eligible for a supermax following this season. So is this the year where he kind of lives up to that supermax hype and gets it done? I know the Celtics are fresh off a finals appearance. Can they go back to the NBA finals?
I think so. I think so. Obviously, I'm very biased. I'm a diehard Celtics fan.
But we like biases.
No, yeah, and my twin brother Brian Scalabrine, obviously Boston Celtics legend. But the Celtics, they have what it takes. I mean, like you said, Tatum and actually Brown will both be up for a supermax at the end of this year. With the new rules, the CBA rules, the Celtics don't have to give them the supermax. They can offer them just a normal max. But obviously, they both will say no to anything less than the supermax if they're eligible.
Right. They would be stupid
But-
if not.
Yeah, but after watching Game 1 against the Hawks, I mean, there's one thing that can kill the Celtics, and it's if they get complacent. They were up 35 against the Hawks in Game 1 at one point, and then they got a little bit complacent, and they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. And the Hawks came within, I want to say 12. It could have been 10.
Yeah,
But-
they made it a close game because I stopped paying
Yeah.
attention because obviously you're not going to pay that close attention to a game that's a 35-point blowout. And then
Yeah.
I looked up and I was like, oh shit, they kind of made this a game.
Yeah, so the Celtics ended up winning by 15. But yeah, I think the Celtics are going to win this in 4, if not 5. I don't know. Trae Young might go off one game and end up
Right.
beating them by 1 or 2 points. But
There's
Celtics
always
are
a
gonna win
one
by
inevitable
at least
loss.
4 or 5. Yeah. And then I think, honestly, Celtics, if they win this, they'll play the 76ers, which has been a good back and forth all year with them.
Mhm.
I think Robert Williams can guard Joel Embiid, but we also have the deepest bench in the league. We have 4 or 5 guys that can come off the bench, and they would be the first or second guy off the bench on any other team in the playoff.
Yeah,
we are
that
so
helps
deep,
huge.
and that's the key in the playoffs, and especially in the NBA. If you don't have a deep bench, who because Brown and Tatum might have an off shooting night. Okay, let's get Brogdon more minutes. Okay, let's get Peyton Pritchard in. We got Grant Williams, Mike Muscala, Blake Griffin. We have such a deep bench that all these players can come in and give us at least 15 points if needed. And I think that's what's really going to get the Celtics to the finals. And then the key thing is, obviously you mentioned this, they tasted the finals last year.
Right.
They tasted it. the Warriors obviously kind of came back and kicked their ass. And so I think especially Brown and Tatum, they're hungrier than ever. And it's giving them even more reason to not mess it up this year.
Yeah, and Brown looks scary with that mask that he's been wearing. So that just
It's
adds
tough.
to that kind of adds to the tale of the Boston Celtics in their road
Yeah,
back to the finals.
and like MSG is great, don't get me wrong, but I think the TD Garden is almost harder to play in than MSG.
It's very close. It's very close.
I think
It's,
like you take two crazy fan bases and it's going to be hard to play anywhere in either Boston or
Yeah.
New York.
Like Boston and
100%.
New York definitely have the best fans in the entire country. But I think like the Boston atmosphere, even in game one against the Hawks, was insane. And it's like I personally I need to go to a game because I wanted to inject that atmosphere into my veins because
Yeah,
it got me so fired up.
I
just
don't doubt
watching
it.
on
I
TV.
can't imagine a playoff basketball atmosphere in Minnesota gets the hair on the back of my neck standing up. But no, I hear you. I will. If I could, I'd be in I'd be at TD Garden and MSG for every one of those games just to be in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
I had a question. Suns dropped the first game in their
Yep.
series. What's your take on the Suns? Because I kind of like the Suns. I think KD is just such a sick player to bet on. So when I'm formulating my futures picks, I
Yeah.
think the Suns are a team I like to win the West.
Yeah, so I actually have a future on the Celtics beating the Suns in the NBA Finals.
Ooh, so I said something smart.
Uh, but I don't know. I think the Suns kind of just lost it at the end of the game the other night. I think the Clippers, they have what it takes to guard KD because of Kawhi and Paul George and Russ. Like those three, they know they all can all defend well. And they can all defend 1 through 4 pretty much. Russ has given this Clippers team a new energy, and he's a beast. Like, yeah, he shot like 3 for 17 or 3 for 19 the other night. But he almost had a triple-double at the same time and had 2 key blocks at the end of the game. So, like, he might be the X factor for the Clippers. And if somehow the Clippers can beat the Suns, I wouldn't be that surprised if they made it to the conference finals. But at the same time, the Suns have KD and Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Like, it's going to be so hard for the Clippers to actually beat them in a 7-game series.
Yeah,
But
and Westbrook
Suns
kind
line
of looks
right
like
now?
an idiot out there a lot of the
he
time.
does. He does. But, like, sometimes the idiot helps the team the most. The Suns line right now to win the NBA Finals is plus 500, which is third behind the Bucks and the Celtics. And they have the best line to win the Western Conference at plus 225.
I
So
like it.
Vegas is high on the Suns, so we all might as well be too.
well, I'm sure they are because everybody's going to put money on the Suns because they see Kevin Durant and they're like, oh, but yeah, he's good at basketball. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And then Warriors Kings play tonight, so tonight will tell a lot about how the rest of this series is going to go. 76ers and the Nets tonight. That's going to be another blowout by the 76ers. Let's see what else I got for you. I think the Heat Bucks series might be one of the more interesting ones. I'm telling you, I'd be surprised if this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 6.
I
I
would
think the
be.
Bucks ultimately win, but the Heat are dogs. They're going to fight.
That'd be nice if they wore down the Bucks a little bit for the Knicks.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Knicks are going to be tied themselves after a 7-game series.
No, they're sweeping. They're sweeping.
Oh, right. I forgot. My bad.
Yeah. All right, so just to wrap up, the whole NBA playoffs, give me your Western Conference Finals. Who's meeting in the Western Conference Finals? Who's it going to be?
Honestly, I think it's going to be the Kings because I honestly really love the Kings right now. I think it's going to be the Kings, and I'm between the Suns and the Nuggets, but I just don't think the Nuggets have what it takes. So I'm going to go with the Kings versus Suns in the Western Conference Finals.
All right. What about the East? Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, we know you're going to have the Celtics in there. Who are the Celtics
Oh,
playing?
yeah. The Celtics are going to play the Bucks. Let's
Yep.
be real.
Of course.
The East is easy to pick. Like the West, I could be totally wrong on the West, and I would not be surprised at all. The
Yep.
East, if it's not the Celtics versus the Bucks, I'd be shocked.
Makes sense. And then who you got? You got the C's winning it all?
I mean, the bias in me needs to. I mean, I'm a diehard C's fan. I bleed green, just like Daz over here, who put on a Celtics jersey, I think.
No one can say, and also, I am a Celtics fan for 6 weeks out of the year. I am going into pretend to give a shit mode about the Celtics. And don't say I'm not a fan because I'm wearing a fucking Gordon Hayward Celtics jersey,
I
baby.
knew that's what it was going to be.
Yeah,
So don't
the
say I'm
C's-
not a. I'm a diehard when the flowers start to bloom, baby. In November, you won't catch me at TD. But in May, I'm in there like swimwear, baby. Let's go C's.
Yeah, so kind of like I said on my future earlier, I think the C's are going to beat the Suns. I think we have Tatum and Brown who can both guard Kevin Garnett. Shout out to
Let's
producer
go!
Jake for the Tatum jersey.
Let's go!
Jake comes
All
back
right.
with the Tatum jersey.
Can we all, Jake? We need it's future time on the Celtics. Come on.
Celtics,
I'm so down
Suns,
to ride Celtics.
Celtics winning 6 games. Bring the championship back to Boston. We're going to the Boston parade, Zach. So you can
Dude,
get your parade. It's just not
I'm
New
going.
York.
I'm going.
It's going to be, they're going to have a
if we're
Celtics
going-
parade and then a Bruins parade back to back.
Yep, because the Bruins are the hottest team in the NHL. Set a record-setting 65 wins. I'm not the NHL guy. That's producer Jake.
That's
But
That's right.
the Celtics are at least bringing the championship back to Boston.
We're going to the. I'm not going to the Bruins parade because I have to go into pretend to give a shit mode about the Rangers now. So we'll talk more about that on Thursday for our NHL playoff preview. But I am going all in on the Celtics, and I will be there in Boston if the Celtics win because I'm placing a massive wager on them to win.
Massive wager.
Which is for me
Yeah,
is
I
like
bet-
$50.
I put 150 on the Celtics to win the finals against the Suns. So
Let's go.
I think it really is the Celtics year. It's got to be. It's got to be the Celtics year. Who they're going to play, I have no fucking clue, but I think it's definitely the Celtics out of the East. I personally kind of like the Clippers though. I kind of like the Clippers to beat I think the Suns Clippers, whoever wins that first round matchup, I think is going to go to the finals. So because
I
the
would not be
Nuggets
surprised at all.
because the Nuggets are terrible. The Warriors, I just don't think they're going to go back to back. I don't think the Kings have good enough defense to win it all. I don't think the Grizzlies are healthy enough to win it all. And the Lakers, I hate LeBron James. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be either Suns or Clippers against the Celtics. And obviously, I'm rooting for the Celtics.
Yeah, I think, like you said, like the Kings are going to need to outscore all of their opponents because they're not going to be able to stop them.
100%.
And then I 100% agree with you. The Clippers, if they beat the Suns, they're going to make a run
100%.
because PG, Kawhi, Russ, like they get the rest of the team, like Zubac, whoever else they got on the
Zubac.
squad over there. Like the West is so unpredictable. The East is so predictable that like it's going to be a great NBA Finals. Whoever gets there, but give me the Celtics, give me the Suns or the Clippers, and let's go Boston.
Agreed. Let's go
Perfect.
C's. All right, Lemon. Well, thank you very much for coming on and giving us your NBA knowledge for a little bit. We will definitely be doing this again. So this will become Lemon will be a reoccurring guest for all things NBA when we need him. So thank you, Lemon.
Thank you,
We
fellas.
appreciate it.
Honestly, thank you both. I love the pod. I listen to it every Tuesday and Friday. Producer Jake, you're a great man. Keep doing what you're doing for the fellas over here. And fellas, it was great speaking with you. Let's go C's.
Thanks,
you,
Lem.
Lemon. All right, so that was Lemon with NBA talk. So now that we got our NBA talk out of the way, and we were just talking about a lot of picks, Zach. What do you say we get into some?
Let's get into some picks.
Powered by Riverside.
love that
All right,
song.
picks for Tuesday, April 18th. Who would like to go first?
I will. Can I go first? Me. Pick me.
Zach. I believe Zach. Yes, Zach. You can.
Nice. All right, my pick for Tuesday, April 18th is going to be St. Louis Cardinals.
Ooh.
St. Louis Cardinals tomorrow facing the D-backs, 7:45 in St. Louis. They got Jordan Montgomery on the mound. Jordan Montgomery is one of the few Cardinals pitchers who has actually got off to a solid start to the season. 2.45 ERA, 2-1 on the season. I like Jordan Montgomery. I like the Cardinals when they're playing at home. I think the D-backs have a rough starter coming out. They don't have Merrill Kelly. They don't have Zach Gallen. So I like the Cardinals tomorrow night.
I am going to stay in the National League with my pick. I am going to take the San Diego Padres at home, who are underdogs against the Atlanta Braves. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Braves. Blake Snell on the mound for the Padres. It's tough to pass up a team who's an underdog at home. I don't know. I think with the thought of Tatis rejoining the squad in 3 days, I think this team could be a little bit rejuvenated. They're not off to the hottest start. They're currently under 500, but I think, look, you have a top team in the National League coming in. You're under 500, and I think the consensus around the team is it's time to wake the bats up and start winning some ball games. I think that's exactly what the Padres are going to be doing. I am rolling with the Padres.
I like it.
I'm really torn here because the Orioles overs have just been hitting at an insane rate right now. And Orioles Nationals tomorrow is at 9.5, which I just think is too many runs. So I'm going to sprinkle that a little bit. That you could take that as my pick. But I'm also going to give you an NHL pick because the playoffs are starting. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are going to absolutely wipe the floor tomorrow night at home. They're minus 150. I might throw so much money on them. They're so good, and the Jets are just—they're not even going to touch them. So, both of those are my picks for tomorrow.
I like that, Jake.
Roulette time?
It is time for roulette, and while I get the roulette up for everybody listening out there, don't forget to come back for our episode on Friday. Producer Jake will be giving us his NHL playoff preview. We're going to go through all the NHL. Me and Chris might be the dumbest hockey bros out there. We don't know shit
Nothing
about
negative,
hockey.
Actually. What's
so it's going to be all Producer Jake, baby. So come back for a Producer Jake special on Friday.
I will be in a Henrik Lundqvist jersey for that preview. So I'm ready for a ticker tape parade in New York City, baby.
Okay, we have to pick a number. 34 just hit. What are we picking? Or does someone want to pick a player?
9.
9.
You know why I said that? I'm not even going to lie, because I was scrolling through my feed and I was watching a video of Matt Fitzpatrick hitting that 9-iron.
Nice, comfortable 9-iron for him.
That was a sick shot. That was a golf shot. Did you see that shot?
Yeah. I know what
sick.
you're talking about, yeah.
I really.
And we're spinning. I don't see number 9. Where is it? Did they take it off the wheel? There it is. I see it. Come on, number 9. Number 9. Hit the number 9. Ah, went right past 9. 14.
Damn it.
All right, one more time. Somebody else pick a number. Pick a number.
6.
Hurry up. 6.
69.
That's how many shots are on goal right now in this Boston Florida game. Boston.
Well, I actually do want to watch that.
And we're spinning. Dude, I swear to God, Jake, if it's 6 hits, I'm going to be really hyped. We're spinning. Still spinning. Oh, not looking good. Nope, 10.
Oh. Should have done 10.
2 is my limit. God,
All right, well, Thursday.
damn it.
Thursday, we're going to get it.
We are going to get it. So thanks, everybody, for listening to today's episode. Hope you enjoyed. And we will see you all on Friday for our producer Jake NHL playoff preview. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you on Friday.
Love you guys.
Get ready for NHL, bitches.